Sorry, I'm not keeping this on for the whole thing. I just got this today. It says, just a little something to let you know we're thinking about you. We hope to see you soon. Stay safe. The Mazda PR team. There you go. That's very nice. Something I can use. This has polyester liquid titanium in it. I don't know. I was just thinking, I'm probably going to have to go to Toronto for a motoring TV shoot at the end of the month or in September. I don't know, wearing that for 4 hours, 5 hours on the plane. That's going to be hard. But anyway, thank you to Mazda Canada for the mask. Appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it. Okay, we got stuff to get into today. I'm going to do the pictures in a moment. I just wanted to go through some sort of where the market is going. So this first email I got is from Dennis DeRosier. He's Canada's leading auto analyst, and these are the Canadian numbers because I live in Canada. And I just wanted to go over what Dennis has to say. Oh, I'm going to turn my computer down. All right, where did it go? What is going on with this? There we go. I just want to be able to see it. Giant strides become moderate steps, but still the momentum is forwards. After the brutal sales collapse in April, the market leapt back in May and then June with sales increases of 140% and then 37%. Okay, so May was 147% and June was 37%. July saw another increase, but only up 6.2%. to an estimated 165,000 units. What is perhaps the most remarkable thing about is the total. It represents only a 4.9% decline. So July of this year, during COVID, we're only down 4.9, we'll just say 5% from the sales from a year ago. Now that's quite incredible. The extent to which the sales success was pent-up demand from the lost spring, we had no sales, is going to be interesting to see. The long-term implications of COVID-19 on the economy and the automotive market are far from clear and will likely include more twists and turns. For now, however, the sales picture is strong and the automotive industry has some much-needed positive news, okay? That's from Dennis DeRosier, Canada's leading auto analyst. So we had no sales for a month or so, and then sales came charging back. And now we're just down about 5% from where we were a year ago. But the interesting thing is, in everything, there are winners and losers. Two winners. And one thing I talked about when this whole thing started, people asked me what I thought. I said brands that offer value will be the clear winners. Those are the Korean brands who have often offered a lot of value and offer a lot of great financing terms. So they always have 0% interest for many, many months. So here is another email that I got from Kia. So check this out. We're in COVID. Kia Canada today announces the best ever July sales in the brand's Canadian history, representing a 3.8% year-over-year increase from 2019. That's incredible. Now that's Kia, the best ever in July. Now here's Hyundai. Hyundai Canada announces July retail sales with a 20% increase compared to the same month last year. This major retail gain has made Hyundai one of the top retailers in the whole of sales in Canada. So that basically agrees with what I've been saying. People during COVID are going to be looking for value, and brands that offer value are the ones that are going to succeed. Now, what other brands offer value? Well, Mitsubishi is one that offers value. They have a 10-year warranty, so people will be attracted to having a known payment every month and knowing that they're not going to have any major repair bills. Another brand would be Toyota. Sure, the vehicles aren't the least expensive, but they offer a lot of reassurance to people. So people that can feel like they're getting a deal, or they go with a trusted brand. We're going to start to see, entry-level premium cars maybe take a dip, because people who maybe thought, oh, you know what, maybe I'll get a my first luxury car, well, step away from that and say, this isn't really the time to do that. So we'll have to wait and see. Okay, I'm getting to your questions in just a moment. I just want to go through some pictures. So this is Gord in St. Louis, Missouri, and he's got a trifecta here. I've written it down. He has got these are all 2020 models. He has got a X5, an M550, and a Model Y. Now, dude, that is a couple $100,000 easily of brand new cars. So good for you. Here's Gordon Winter. Oh, there's Mark again. Here's Gordon. He got this last year. It's a 1974 BMW 2002. He says it's an absolute blast to drive. Come in, come in. What do we have today, Jack? Pilsner Urquell. I'm just going to get rid of the picture and I'll let Jack get in. What are you showing off today?
I'm showing off the Suns because they're the only 4-0 team in the NBA bubble. They're coming for the 8th seed.
Who won today, Jack?
The Suns.
Who won today, Jack?
The Canucks. There you go. That's
the Canucks. And who won yesterday?
The Blackhawks.
The Blackhawks.
4-3. Jonathan Taves coming in clutch.
Jack's team is the Blackhawks. I'm cheering for the Canucks. And he loves the Suns. His two teams. Hey, Jack. So the Suns are 3-0 or 4-0?
4-0. Only 4-0 team.
And the Raptors are
3-0. They haven't played their fourth game.
Are they playing tonight? Tomorrow. Okay. Okay, you're all done here. Thank you. Here's your sports update. So today we're going with Pilsner Urquell. Somebody suggested this. I love this stuff. That is yummy. Okay, where was I? Gordon Winter. He got this last year. It's a 74 2002. He says it's only got 100 horsepower, but it only weighs 2,000 pounds. Next, we have Dan from Toronto. He wanted to show us his Crosstrek. Very functional car, good on gas. And then Brian Betancourt, I know his cousin, Michael Betancourt. Now, Brian just picked this up, and he said it was a totally virtual deal. Midtown Audi, they did the whole thing virtually. I guess they just, did you go pick it up, or did they deliver it to you? I'm not sure. But theirs is A4 all-road, and a great car. I wish you lots of success with that. Okay. We have 100 people on board right now and only 19 likes. One thumbs down, because there's always one dick in the crowd, right? I'll call you that, because I can, because it's my show. My show. I do what I like. Barack says, thoughts on Gordon Murray's new T50. How do you think it compares to the Aston Martin Valkyrie and Mercedes AMG 1? I don't know all the specs on those cars. All I can tell you is what I like about the T50, and I didn't do a video. I just posted the video that they shared on the channel. So if you don't know what Barack is talking about, you can go back on the channel and check it out. It's the supercar with a V12 naturally aspirated engine, the fastest revving engine ever produced for a production car. And then it has a very lightweight. It's about 500 pounds lighter than most supercars. And it has got a center seating position, the same as the original McLaren F1. He's the guy who was behind the McLaren F1, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And it has this big, massive fan at the back for aero. So I think it's really cool. What I like about it is that Gordon Murray basically said it was an analog car. It's just the machine, and that's what I like about it. It's not all high tech. It's just basically a badass engine, badass manual transmission, and lightweight car, and beautifully built. So there you go. So who is this guy? Well, he was the technical director for Brabham, and then he became the technical director for McLaren, and was the technical director through the go-go era of Senna and Prost. And then he went on to help start up the McLaren sport car division, and then left there and started his own company. So there you go. Hi, car guys. Well, the Mini Cooper, John Cooper Works GP, shoot up in value. Only 3,000 are made. 3,000 is not a low volume car. 3,000 is pretty high, so I don't think it'll shoot up in value. But it's not a high volume car, but 3,000 isn't low volume. Only live car reveals all Only live car reveals are loveless, lifeless, and scripted beyond belief. Don't like the Cadillac show. We need independent reviewers. I totally agree with you there. So I didn't see it. I was working all day. They had the Aria, the new Cadillac, shown, and I haven't even seen it. I just got home. Just got home to do this live show. So I have to check that out when we get a chance. James is here. A super chat from James. Always like the like button. Thanks for the interactive show, Zach. Well, I appreciate that. And I do a sip and a smash. I sip. You guys smash the like button. All right. I got one here from New York City. Hey, Zach, we love the videos. If you're ever in a Manhattan, New York area and need a car to review, feel free to reach out to us anytime. I'm in Mercedes-Benz Manhattan. Well, that's super cool. I can't wait till we can actually travel again. Well, I tell you what I could do is maybe in the spring. I don't know if this is ever going to happen for the New York Auto Show. I was supposed to go to the New York Auto Show when it's canceled, but there you go. I think I would love to pop by and say hello in the spring in a convertible. That would be good. And you could send me out of Manhattan on a nice road somewhere. When will you get a chance to drive the Mazda with the new Skyactiv X engine? I don't know. Let me just, when am I going to, I should do like this. When will you get an opportunity to drive the Mazda with the new Skyactiv X engine? I don't know. Now I'm back. I don't know. Here's another question. Mazda question. The Mazda 3 with the 2.5 liter turbo, what buyers are they hoping to attract? Current Mazda shoppers are the ones who are looking for a hot hatch GTI Veloster. Here's what I think it is. Sales of cars keep going down. I don't know if you've heard this, but just last week, Hyundai has decided to cancel the Accent subcompact car. The Fiesta's gone, the Yaris is gone, the Micra's gone, the Versa Note is gone. I've missed a few, but really we're down to the Mirage from Mitsubishi and the Kia Rio. And the Rio, is that on the chopping block too? I'm not sure. But all of these subcompact cars are going away. And compact cars, which is where the Mazda 3 lives, sales continue to go down. And it's the same thing with mid-size sedans. Sales of mid-size sedans keep coming down. So what the car manufacturers are trying to do is inject some excitement into these models to still keep these cars viable. That's why we've seen all-wheel drive added to sedans and to hatchbacks. And that's why we're going to see this turbocharged engine in there. Is it really to attract GTI buyers? Well, there aren't a ton of GTIs sold. I mean, GTI is a successful car. Don't kid yourself. But the thing is, let me turn my phone up. Where is it? But the thing is that these are not huge numbers, right? This is not what's going to keep your lines going. It's basically just to get people excited about the car generally. To not have sales go down any farther. But there will be some people that cross-shop it with those. Oh, by the way, since I have my phone open, we did this last time, and it worked really well. And the same thing happened. Andrea didn't know we were down here. Well, she knows I'm down here. But she didn't know I was asking you guys to do a shout-out for her new Instagram. So Andrea, in her cute pink skirt or other things, she puts her pictures on Instagram. So hers is motormouth_Andrea, and mine, or ours I should say, is motormouth_auto. So if you haven't signed up on Instagram, do it right now. Motormouth_auto and motormouth_Andrea, and play along. Okay. What do you think of the new lyric? I'm not sure what it is about Cadillac, but there still seem to be an old person's brand, even though they've been trying desperately to shake the image. I haven't seen it. I was out working all day, and I just got back and got this set up, and haven't even checked it out. I was invited to go and to go to a special presentation thingy they had, but I just didn't have time. So I will check it out after the fact. I apologize. It can only be one place at a time. And by the way, what were we shooting today? Yeah, we're doing a comparison. The RAV4 Hybrid and the Ford Escape Hybrid. And it's closer than you think. It's not a total slam dunk. from Toyota. I mean, that new Ford Escape Hybrid is damn good. Vanilla Donut, that's a good handle. So the Trump administration has placed a 10% tariff on Canadian aluminum. Last time that happened, car prices increased. Do you think this will happen again? I'm not sure on which side of the border. You're putting a tariff on aluminum that's leaving Canada and going to the United States, which would cost Americans more. But the steel that's, the thing is, Canadian cars, I don't think will go up in price. American cars might, because Canadian cars already have a price premium baked in. So the prices of cars in Canada are more expensive. So we have obviously a weaker dollar than the United States, but they also have the ability to fluctuate the price depending on how the market is doing. So often the cars are more than just the difference with the currency. There's a little bit more in there. So if cars aren't selling, they can throw money on the hood and give you rebates, which is where Car Cost Canada comes in to find out exactly what those rebates are. So yeah, they also can absorb, because the price is higher, any kind of increases to buy the cars before they sell them to us. Excuse me. Do you think that the new TLX has gotten a bit too big? No, I don't think so. I walked by a TL Type S, an old one, that was parked on the street this morning. I was going to take a picture of it for my Instagram, but it was just pouring rain. And that is a bigger car than this. I think that the TLX is just about the right size. Excuse me, guys. This is a very good point. Healthcare workers wear masks, gowns, shields all day long, sometimes without a break. It's not hard to wear a mask. Annoying, but for the greater good. Oh, I get it. I'm just saying, if you don't wear a mask regularly, and the thing is, in British Columbia, where I live, we have low COVID rates here, so mask use is not widespread because it hasn't been mandated. We haven't needed to yet. I'm just saying, sitting on an airplane, I don't know. I feel for those people. The interesting thing is that healthcare workers are used to wearing masks and shields, protective gear for other things. Now they're just not really getting a break from it. Hey, Zach, any thoughts on dealerships for regular service? Do they put any stock into reviews? I'm considering traveling further for a dealership based on reviews. Well, that this game can be kind of had, right? Like, businesses that pump up their Google reviews or their Yelp reviews or restaurant reviews or whatever it is. You can get people to write all kinds of favorable things on your reviews and bump up this number of likes and stars that you get. So probably the best thing to do if you're looking or shopping for a dealership to take your vehicle to is ask other people that have the car. For example, if you're at a gas station and somebody else has, say you have a Honda and they have a Honda, you say, which dealer, do you take it to the dealer and where are you happy? So, and sometimes the only way to find out is to try it. I don't really know other than that. You can go on the reviews, but it's the same for anything. When I travel, I see the hotel reviews, or when we did travel, I would see the hotel reviews and they're all good. Oh, it's great. It's like you have to kind of see through it to see for yourself. Macan base, Macan S, or X3 M40. What do you think? Well, the most powerful of the bunch is the X3 M40. It has 372 horsepower, I believe. The Macan S is not as powerful. The number off the top of my head, I don't remember, but it isn't as powerful. And the Macan base is basically the Audi Q5 engine. These are all good vehicles. The base model Macan is going to give you the Porsche experience and feel, the quality of the inside, the feel and the way it's put together. You do get that experience with the Porsche. The S is a great engine. So it has, I know it has more than 335 horsepower because it's the same engine they use in the base model Cayenne, but it's got more power. And then the X3 has got the most. I would go and try them all because you might find that the X3 may be a bit bumpy depending on where you live and the roads that you're on. So just something worth trying. If it was me, it would be between the Macan S or the GTS, the X3 M40, and the GLC, this vehicle here, the 43 AMG. We got another super chat. It's Seymour Rutz. What is one feature in new vehicles that you would like to see made standard? Also, do car manufacturers listen to reviewers' input? Glossy black plastic, anyone? Sip and slam. Sip and slam. I'll drink to that. I sip, you slam the like button. Well, let's unbox that. I'll do the last one first. Do car manufacturers listen to reviewers' input? Yes. And I'll tell you why. I remember I had, it doesn't happen very often, but I had somebody who's in the car business, actually a dealer principal, phone me one time. And this is when I worked local radio and TV. He knew how to get a hold of me. And kind of went over me for a review of their product. And I said, well, I stand behind the product. And this is what I said. I guarantee you all the things that I said needed to be fixed on the car when the car is refreshed will be fixed. And sure enough, 2 years later, all the stuff that everybody complained about, they addressed. So you think about things like Hyundai and Kia having horrible electric power steering systems. Everybody in the review community complained about how bad they were, and they were fixed. Here's a perfect one. Honda got rid of the volume knob on the radios of the CR-V and other vehicles. We all bitched and said it was a stupid idea, and then sure enough, like a year or so later, they brought it back. So they do listen. They absolutely listen. What else was there here? What's one feature in new vehicles you'd like to see made standard? Well, I think we're starting to see it on most vehicles, and that's the forward collision warning with autonomous braking. It really does save your ass when you're not paying attention. I was driving along today, and I still had enough room to stop, but I was kind of looking off somewhere, and then the system let me know, and I looked back, and sure enough, everybody was jamming on the brakes. So many brands like Toyota and Honda are making it standard equipment, but I think it should be, it's almost one of those things that could be legislated that needs to be standard on all vehicles. We're kind of getting there, but that is something for sure that needs to be added as just basic safety. And I think in Canada, heated seats, come on, heated seats in this market for sure. Bruce is back again. Nice to see you, Bruce. Mercedes-Benz Canada website. Try to configure a GLB. Painful experience. If you want that, then the package has to be deleted. Never-ending loop. Can they not just offer 3 or 4 models? I feel your pain, Bruce, because I did the exact same thing. So I went on just before, a lot of times before we do a review, I will go on, because they give us like the loaded model, like everything in it. And I go on and I add up what I would want, what I would be sort of like my bare minimum, the way I would configure the car if it was really my money. And you're right. Some of the packages are just crazy because as soon as you click on, I want the bigger wheels, then you go into, well, you got to have the premium package, or you've got to go into the night package, or you need to get this or that. One criticism, major criticism of Porsche has been the fact that everything is a la carte. But the upside to that is you get the car exactly the way you want. Like there's no, you can have, if you want to have it with, purple on the outside with lilac seats, they'll do it. But you just got to pay for it. So I think purple and lilac are both purple. Yellow seats. Are purple and lilac the same color? This is coming from a guy who's colorblind. I'm colorblind. So I see colors, I just don't get them right all the time. Bruno, my wife really likes the G-Class, but the new ones are too expensive. What do you think about a 13 with 120,000 kilometers? Do you have any opinion? What I would do is I would really sort of pick a budget, whatever the budget is. Say it's $60,000. I'm not sure. And then keep an eye out for that car in that price range. And it might be that one. It might be another one. I'm not sure where you are, Bruno, but what I would suggest you do is look in the market where I live. Okay? I live in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And I truly believe that the best used premium cars in all of North America come from here. Often very low mileage, no salt. They don't get beaten up by the sun. We certainly don't get beaten up by the sun because we don't get a lot of sun here, especially in the winter. And often these vehicles can be picked up with low mileage on them. Plus, if you're an American, you're buying with you're buying with U.S. dollars. And in Canada, the vehicle can be shipped anywhere across the country. It can be shipped anywhere in the world, but it's not that hard to ship a car. I just think that this is the best place. And one of the reasons why for premium is that Vancouver, and I've been all over North America and many parts of the world, is one of those markets where you have a lot, and I mean a lot, of high-end cars here. I mean, in certain parts of the city, all you see are luxury cars. And that's why when I do my Instagram, where I have a series called Cars on My Walk, people are like, come on, all those cars can't be near where you live. And it's like, yeah, that's what's right in where I walk my dog every day. So cool cars, funky cars. So what I would do is don't just rush out and buy this one. I mean, it's kind of got higher mileage than I would want. Personally, I would want one under 100,000, and just wait. It's like you have to sit and wait. For example, I'm looking for a certain watch. I just sit and wait until it pops up, and then I'll know whether it's a good deal or not. So that would be my advice to you: is look for, if you're in Canada, one in Vancouver, and pick it up and have it shipped. Should I keep my Mercedes 300 or buy the new Tlx S? Well, JP, nobody's touched it or driven it yet, so I would wait. Keep driving it and just wait till we find out what it's like. Josh is here. Hey, Josh, how's the real estate game going? Josh is in real estate in Montreal. I just read today on the business BNN here in Canada that Toronto real estate market is shooting the lights out. It's bounced back incredibly well. So it'll be interesting to see how it's doing in Montreal. Still kind of steady as she goes here in Vancouver. I lost your... There we go. Let's do it again. What do you think of the new Audi A6 with the V6? Looks pretty nice and comfy. Here's an interesting thing is that the A6 is a wonderful car. Shares the same platform with the A7. It's a really nice car. However, there have been some quality complaints with the A6, and I bet you, I don't know specifically, but if I drilled into it, most of the complaints are going to be coming about the new MMI Touch system. So it's a beautiful car. I like the styling of it. I think it's great. These are wonderful cars, but I'm not totally sold on the MMI Touch. I think that it's probably a fine system once you learn it, but I think for some people it's going to take a while to learn. The Queen's Half Corgi. Now there's a good handle. 2020 Infiniti Q50 starts at 44, 300 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque, a bargain. I would suggest that yes, and by the way, Josh, who's right above you there in the chats, has a Q50. He's not a brand new one. He's got an older one. But a Q50 is a fine vehicle. Josh can chime in the comments. I'm sure he'll write something below. The only problem I have with the Q50, even though it's a good deal, is it does depreciate. There's just not a lot of people that are running around looking at Q50s. You're probably best to look for one that's a year or two old because nothing's changed with it. So maybe look for a lease return. You're probably going to get an even better deal. They do depreciate badly. Hey, look who it is. Hasn't been here for a while. DJ Pleasure Seeking Missile. Good evening, Zach. Just wanted to let you know my first automatic watch, a Seiko SNK 809. Can't beat it for 85 bucks. Attaboy. DJ Pleasure Seeking Missile. From your picture, it doesn't look like you're enjoying too much pleasure there. Let's get a look at your face again. You do have the top handle though. DJ Pleasure Seeking Missile is still my favorite. But there you go. Congratulations on, hey, look at this. Look what I just happen to have here. Here's an SKX, I'll put it there. an SKX 007. This is probably the most famous Seiko watch. And I bought this for myself years ago. And now my son's wearing it. He's not wearing it right now because I got a new bracelet for it. And I have to size it for him. He's wearing a Tag Heuer watch that Andrea gave me years ago. But if anybody's looking for a Seiko's a great way to start. So DJ Pleasure Seeking Missile got one. And if you're looking for your first automatic watch, an SKX 007 or an SKX 009, the only issue is they've gone up in price. They don't make them anymore. You can still buy them new on Amazon and places like that. They used to be like $200. Now, because they don't make any more, they're about $500. But still a great watch. And you go swimming with it. Seltos or Trailblazer for roominess on road trip, Zach? Well, I haven't been in the Seltos yet. I have both of these booked, by the way, and they're booked now for September and October. So the Seltos is basically like the Kona, but a little bit bigger. And the Trailblazer I haven't driven yet. So unfortunately, I don't have an answer for you. Based on the numbers, Koreans are eating everyone's lunch. Do you think this will cause their resale values to be much higher in the future? Well, I think that, I just want to clarify one thing. Hyundai and Kia had great numbers, and I mentioned them at the beginning, in the Canadian marketplace. But they're still much lower than the big brands. Like the top three in Canada are the domestics, followed by Toyota, followed by Hyundai. And Kia's down maybe a position or two from there. So yes, they're not doing the same volume as the domestics for sure. But what I will say is that residual value and resale value takes a long time to build. That is something that has to be earned over a long period of time, and they are getting better, but they're not at the same level as Toyota. One of the issues that you have, excuse me, is when you discount vehicles and give heavy incentives, it does affect the resale value of cars. The Queen's Half Corgi is saying again, I feel like this is the Gordon Murray car again. The T50 is the car Gordon Murray wanted to make all those years ago, but they didn't have the technology at the time, and now it's possible, and GM has just made his dream car. And Gordon Murray has just made his dream car. So Gordon Murray didn't make the McLaren F1. There's a lot of similarities between that car and this car. So this is Mo saying, we the North. I guess that's, yeah, this is because Jack just popped his head in here. Is Jack interested in cars, or is it just all sports? He's really just all about sports. He loves sports. And Jack is going to college in the fall. He just got his laptop today. We ordered him a MacBook Pro to go to school, or not go to school, basically sit at home but go to school, virtually go to school. So he's going in the fall for marketing, and he wants to get into sports marketing, which would be perfect for him because he's just totally crazy about marketing, about sports, I should say. Do you have a personal mechanic in Vancouver whom you trust? Now, I do, but he's a Porsche mechanic, so I'm not sure what your car is. For my Toyota Tacoma, I've had nothing to do with it. I just changed the oil on it. Yeah, I barely drive it. So for my Tacoma, it's a bit of a no-brainer. I just changed the oil. But the Porsche, I do have a Porsche mechanic. Has this lost its focus? Let me see. There we go. Just check it. Do you think traditional car brands lose their identity and heritage when they get acquired by another brand, like Porsche and Audi getting bought by Volkswagen, FCA, etc.? I think that they try to keep the essence of the brand. The problem you have is that making and developing cars is so expensive. That's why all of these brands are merging. That's why FCA is getting together with Peugeot and Fiat, and making a bigger company. And that's why you have the Nissan, Renault, Mitsubishi alliance. That's why Volkswagen and Ford are working on trucks and utilities, because the cost to make a new car, a new model, is anywhere from $1 to $3 billion. Okay. So if car companies can share the development costs across many vehicles, then they will do that. A perfect example is the Volkswagen MQB platform, which was developed for the Volkswagen Golf. I think it was to be used over 23 or 24 different models in the Volkswagen group. But those are brands we don't get here, like Skoda and Seat, the Leone, and all the different vehicles that are using that same platform. So it's just a function of cost savings. Now, when you get into the Porsche Audi world, they're sharing a lot of engines and platforms, but does the end consumer really care if it's really a Porsche SUV with an Audi engine in it? I don't think they really care. Just so long as the companies make enough money that they can still make the cool cars. Like if Porsche stopped making the 911 and the Boxster and the Cayman, well, we'd have something to worry about. But the fact that, you know, the Panamera shares a platform with some Audi cars, and the Cayenne shares a platform with the Q8 or the Tiguan, I don't really think people care. So long as the 911 still exists. If they started sharing the 911 platform and technology with other brands, I think you're right. They would have lost their way. Best value used sedan under $20,000. Well, David, I want to know what size you're looking at. If you're looking at a compact or a midsize, I would say, you know, a Corolla or a Civic. You really can't go wrong with those. Which luxury SUV has the best interior, rattle, squeak free, and infotainment? I would say that BMW interiors and their infotainment systems are pretty damn good. The one thing I will say is that the materials used on the BMW interiors, they're really good, and I think they do a good job. MBUX, the new Mercedes one, the infotainment system is flashy, but it's not exactly glitch-free. And the same thing with the Audi MMI touch system, flashy, but some people won't like it. Porsche has a really good combination of sort of analog and digital on their interiors, and the materials are first rate. Josh is back. Is Bronco to be strong enough to pull loyal Wrangler buyers? I heard on CNBC that reservation numbers are high, but Jeep has decades of very loyal customers. Here's the thing I want to say about the Bronco, and I mentioned it on a couple other videos. So there it is there. The proof is going to be in the driving of it. Now, Ford knows how to do one thing really well. They know how to make trucks. So they're going to take a lot of expertise from their trucks and put it into the Bronco. But having a new vehicle can be beneficial and also a hindrance. So you've got to basically get up to speed with what Jeep's already been doing. But then again, you can do things differently. They're kind of held into their formula where because it's all new and a clean sheet of paper, you can develop something new. But on the downside, you don't have all those years and decades of incremental improvement to put into your Bronco. So the proof is, I mean, if you just look at it, you go, oh, it sure is cool looking. It's like a Jeep, but it's a Ford, it's a Bronco, and da-da-da-da-da. But here's the thing is, the real test is going to be which one's better at the job it's supposed to do. And there's a real strong case to be made that the Jeep is pretty damn good at what it does. And the latest Jeep is so much better on road. Okay, it used to be okay on road, not that great on road, but good off road. Now it's really good on road and off road. So is Bronco going to be able to do that? We'll have to wait until we get a chance to drive them. But yeah, initial deposits for this are through the roof because it's new and exciting, and people are captive and bored at home, and people can afford to buy one. Will buy one. Do you know if the gas RAV4 is quieter than the 19? Understand the added sound insulation. I brought this up with Toyota when I was with them, saying that this is the big complaint, and they said that they know about it. Now, I haven't heard anything specifically, so maybe do a quick Google search and find out if that's the case. I don't think so, but I could be proven wrong. I hope they did. They know it's an issue, though. They do know it's an issue. Thanks for loading the McLaren T50 onto your channel. This brings back great memories of the summer of 1996 when I was visiting a friend in London. I'll try to find some photos. So obviously you saw the McLaren. I've never seen a McLaren F1 in person. It's a very cool looking car. When will you get a chance to drive the 2021 Pacifica hybrid? Any updates on the 2021 Sienna review as well? I sent them an email this morning. Saying, what's up with the Prime? What's up with the Sienna? What's up with the Venza? Now, on Tuesday, they want us to have a briefing where we have to go through the marketing and the pricing for the Prime. Like, why can't they just send me a release? Anyway, I've got to sit through some... I don't know. I don't have the answer for you. When I get these vehicles, I will do reviews on them. Don't you worry. So Single Malt saying, I went to see and sit in an F1 at Hyde Park. Also Aston Martin, first year of the DB7. That's very cool. Hey, Zach, best bang for buck when it comes to watches. Well, the best bang for buck when it comes to watches is this. I think I already mentioned it. So it's a Seiko Diver. So I can't remember the name of the new one, but this is an SKX 007. SKX 007. Write it down. Order one on Amazon. Best bang for the buck. Now, it comes with a rubber strap, or you can get it with the bracelet. I would try and get it with the bracelet, and then you can always add a strap. You can get a rubber strap anytime. James is here saying, Trump is gone in 4 months and being replaced by a hologram of Joe. I don't know. The thing is, Donald Trump is just a fool with this pandemic. I mean, did you watch that interview the other day he did with the Australian guy? It was just shocking to see how out of touch he is. But, I mean, he's done a terrible job with the pandemic. Here's a perfect example. I have two sets of friends who are Canadians but live in California. One of them works for a gaming company in the Bay Area, and the other one is one of the top voiceover artists in North America. So he's the voice of the Brick. In Canada, you know that furniture store. He does a lot of movie trailers. He's the voice of the Megatron for the Transformers cartoons. He's a very successful guy, and they have both couples have moved back to Canada in the short term because they can to get out of California because it's such a mess down there. And then I was texting a guy about this watch on one of the forums that I'm on, and he says, well, congratulations in Canada for knocking COVID on its head. And it's just an amazing difference between Canada and the United States shares the same landmass. There's an imaginary border that goes between us. Well, there's a real border too, but on the north side of the border, people stayed home, they did what they were told, and they followed the healthcare professionals. In the United States, it's like the Wild West. There's 50 states and 50 different plans. And there's nobody in the front office at the Oval Office seems to be saying, hey, we're all going this way. And look at the number of cases. I think for example, in Canada, we have just over 100,000 cases in the whole country. And in the United States, it's like 5 million. It's crazy. Colin is saying, killing COVID with beer. I do the same here. Cheers to that. What do you think of the Mazda 3 Turbo starting at $30,000 US? Granted, has more torque than a GTI and Civic Type R. Plus, it's all-wheel drive. Do you think Mazda is priced too high? Well, it seems to be an ongoing theme with a lot of people with that particular car. They don't love the fact that I think $30,000 US dollars for that car is expensive, considering you can get a GTI for a lot less than that. Lots of dealers will offer rebates on products or services in exchange for a favorable Google review. I usually go to dealer reviews or on Reddit, I think is what you're saying. That's not bad advice. Maybe Reddit is a little bit more honest. Oh, Truman is saying wristwatch check. So this is my newest acquisition. This is the an Omega Great White, and I put it on a 2-piece NATO strap. Came with a bracelet. Didn't love the bracelet. Got rid of it right away. So this is an Omega Great White GMT. I just got it a week ago, I think. Kevin's back again saying, I have a 19 Mazda 3 and an 18 CX-5. They're fantastic. I like them more than my RAV4 I had before. You know what? There's a lot to be said for their products. They do a really good job. You know who's a huge fan? Drea. Drea loves the Mazdas. Loves them. Oh, by the way, I'll do it again. If you're just joining me, Andrea's Instagram is motormouth_Andrea. So go on now and do it. She's upstairs, and I'll go up for dinner. And we're having chicken tonight, just so you know. And she'll go, oh, my God, I got so many people following along. That's the way she is. Oh, my God, I can't believe it. See if anybody followed along with me just now. Nobody. Oh, there's one. So, yeah, if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's motormouth_auto and then motormouth_Andrea for Andrea. Hey, Jim is here. He's always saying he misses the show live, and he's here today live. Well done. Glad you're here. Does it still make sense to buy a 2021 Lexus IS 350? It'll be about the same acceleration as German 4-cylinder model and worse fuel economy. I do appreciate the peace of mind of Lexus. Well, this is the decision, and these are the factors that go in. You put a column down, pluses on one side, minuses on the other. A big plus in the Lexus column, it's a Lexus, and you know you're not going to have any issues with it. You're going to drive it and enjoy it. You could keep it after the warranty's expired with a lot of safety, knowing that it's going to be probably okay. Now, every brand has vehicles that break, but Lexus do have a very good reputation. So you might be right about that. It's up to you. I mean, for me, I think the interior wasn't enough of a change. It wasn't enough of a change with this car. I think that, first of all, we have to see it in person. It might look better in person. But I think that they just did incremental changes. More of a facelift. It's not a new car at all. Montreal has been hot, at least up until the pandemic. Lowest unemployment rate since 1976. Well, that's great to hear. You know, what happened in 1976, I remember. I can't be that. Zach, you can't be that old. I remember 1976 was the year when a lot of companies left Montreal and moved to Toronto, their head offices. Remember the big one was Sun Life at the time, and a lot of the Canadian banks were based in Montreal. Well, BMO, for example, Bank of Montreal, moved to Toronto. That's good to hear. You know, it's interesting. I watch, I mentioned this before, a business, CNBC all the time. And they always have analysts on. Every time they have an analyst on, it's always RBC, TD, BMO, RBC. And I don't think many Americans know that they're all Canadian banks. RBC is Royal Bank of Canada. TD is Toronto Dominion. BMO is Bank of Montreal. They just absolutely dominate when it comes to banking here in Canada and now in many parts of the U.S. Love the show. Would love to know what you think of the Dodge Charger with a Hemi. The Charger is a great car. The Chrysler 300 is a great car. These are legacy platforms from when Chrysler and Daimler were together. You remember Daimler Chrysler around the 2000s? They were a merged company. And the benefit to Chrysler and to Dodge was the platform that they got for those cars, which is an old E-Class Mercedes platform. And if you've never driven a Chrysler 300 or a Charger, especially with the Hemi V8, it is a wonderful, wonderful highway car. It's a beautiful car to drive on the highway. It is very comfortable. It has great road presence. It's got nice handling. I like those cars a lot, and you can pick them up, especially used, for very cheap. And in the Chrysler family, the FCA family, the vehicles that score at the very top of quality scores in their class often are the Dodge Charger and the Chrysler 300. They actually score very well. So not only are these cars very comfortable to drive, they're actually quite reliable, and you can get them with the big 8.4-inch Uconnect screen. Now, they're older platforms and they're older interiors, but they do everything fine. And if I was going to a rental car company and they said, you can pick one of the cars on there, I wouldn't hesitate for a second to grab a Chrysler 300 or a Dodge Charger and spend 6 hours behind the wheel. They're very comfortable. What's your take on a used GLE 400? Nothing the matter with it. With anything that's a 4-year-old car, is you have to get it inspected to make sure that things have been done on it and it's being looked after, all those sorts of things. But yeah, nothing really that earth-shattering with that vehicle until they came out with the new model just a year or so ago. There you go. Zach, what PPI company you used would recommend for a car inspection? Okay, you don't need to have a pre-purchase inspection done by an individual car company. You can get a pre-purchase inspection done by any dealership. So, for example, if you're looking at a Honda Accord, ask the person selling the car, if it's another Honda dealer, say it's Bob's Honda, you want to get them to send that Honda Accord over to Larry's Honda. Now make sure Bob and Larry aren't brothers, or they're not owned by the same people. So you phone them up and you say, I'm really interested in that Honda Accord. I want to get a PPI done, a pre-purchase inspection. They'll go, no problem. They say, take it over to Larry's Honda. Larry's Honda will get the car. You pay Larry the $150 to $250, whatever it's going to cost to get the pre-purchase inspection done. And then you are the only one that sees that report. Not the guy selling it, not this guy, only you. Then you have the information and you go in and you go, well, it says the brakes are worn, the muffler's got a hole in it, whatever it is. And then you negotiate or you walk away. So that's how it works. You don't need to hire a company unless it's a specialty sort of collectible. Just go to a dealer for that brand. They do PPIs all the time, and that's how you do it. Zach, I love driving television. Bring it back. I don't work for driving television anymore. Volkswagen ID3, when will it be in Canada? So first of all, we got to get over the first hurdle, which is the ID4. That's the SUV electric vehicle from Volkswagen. It is going to be officially revealed this fall, before the end of the year. My guess is it was going to be held for the Los Angeles Auto Show in November, because that makes perfect sense for a market like California to show it there. Plus, the Germans love to go to California in the winter. So November, they would all get out of Germany and go to California. So I don't think that's happening. The LA Auto Show isn't happening, but they're going to have some kind of virtual release this fall. And we should see the ID4, if not before the end of the year, sometime at the beginning of next year. Come in.
Here's the chicken.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone asked for.
Everyone at this, we're having baked cornflake crust chicken.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's delicious. Is it time?
No, but that's for following on Instagram.
Oh, Andrea.
Oh, she's seen it.
Oh, because people are going on and following Mom.
Yeah.
Okay.
They want that chicken.
No, people want chicken.
Oh, you said you give them chicken if you follow them.
Oh, I didn't say that.
Oh.
But I said after this, I'm going to have chicken.
Oh, well, they're getting chicken too.
Well, they want chicken, clearly. So.
Wait, so are people saying they want chicken?
So
let me go down here. I got to go to the bottom.
So it looks like we're going to have a feast of chicken.
I can't have everybody over, hon. There's 200 on here. Where the hell was I? The ID4. So we got to get that one out of the way. The ID4 is a utility full electric that's going to be coming. Now, Volkswagen has not confirmed the ID3 is coming. It is now for sale in Europe. It's basically the Golf, but fully electric. So that's where we're at. Got to get over that one first. Man, that smells good. Baked chicken. And then we'll get to that. A GTI guy says, thoughts on the Cadillac Lyric, or did I miss your thoughts? I missed the reveal. I was out working all day. I didn't get a chance to see it. So I will have to, we got a crazy week this week because it was a long weekend here in Canada, and then we didn't get the 2 cars that we were to shoot. So now we've got to crunch everything into just a couple of days here. James, Carrera 2S late model C7. Just the C2 for resale. That's it. Never buy a new Lexus GS350 or an Infiniti Q50. Always buy 3 years old. Save nearly 50%. That is true. These are low volume cars. So you're talking about the Q50 question earlier, and this also goes for the IS. They're low volume cars, right? So there's not a lot of demand for them new. There certainly isn't a big demand for them used. So that's how you get the best deal. My kid is in Nanjing, China at university, 2 years speaking full Mandarin. Well, that's cool. Cool to go there and see the copies of the cars. Kind of fun to see. Yeah, I've been to the Shanghai show 3 times and the Beijing Auto Show once. So I've been to 4 different auto shows in China over 8 years. And when you go to the Chinese auto shows, there are literally hundreds of brands of Chinese cars that you've never heard of and will never see, but they will take a car that is widely used in other parts of the world and copy it, and the only thing that's different is the logo. That's it. We saw a Porsche Macan. It looked exactly like a Porsche Macan except for the badge on it. It's crazy how they do it. Here's one from David Lee. I would really like to get the VW California. I'm looking into bringing one from Europe. Will VW Canada work on the California and bring it in for service? How hard is it to import to Canada? Thanks. Well, if the car is not 15 years or older, it will not be allowed in the country if it has not gone through all of the crash tests and all of those sorts of things. So unless Volkswagen USA or Volkswagen Canada goes through all of the regulatory process for the EPA, crash testing, all those sorts of things, you won't be able to bring it into the country. It's only cars that are 15 years or older are allowed to be brought in exempt from those rules. So unfortunately, until the point where they decide they want to bring a California in, by the way, the Volkswagen California is their van, but camperized, kind of like the Westphalia. Very cool, but very expensive. So going over there and bringing that car here is not going to fly, unfortunately. Happy Robin says, I bought financed a Kia Seltos today. Remember that I said I would? Well, now I did. Picking it up tomorrow. SX Turbo, dark ocean blue. Thanks for your awesome reviews. Well, Happy Robins, I'm glad I could help. I don't have a review of the Seltos, but I hope some of the other Kia and Hyundai products help. Congratulations to you. And that sort of dovetails into what we were talking about at the beginning. If you missed it, Hyundai and for the car companies are not giving out their monthly sales. They're doing it every quarter. Now, the only 2 car companies that sent me releases for their sales were Hyundai and Kia, because both brands absolutely shot the lights out when it came to sales here in the Canadian market, which goes to my point that I've been making ever since COVID hit. It's the brands that offer value or perceived value are the ones that are going to absolutely dominate during uncertain times. So people who don't know what they want to buy will go to trusted brands. Toyota's going to do well out of this. And people that want to get the most bang for their buck will turn to the Korean brands. We saw it in 08-09 during the Great Recession. Those 2 brands did very, very well, and they dovetailed off a little bit when the economy started to come back. They're going to do very well during pandemic times. If the economy, and when it comes back to full steam, they might start to flatten out a little bit. This is a good question. What's the difference between an SUV and a CUV? Name a car that fits perfectly into the crossover category. Okay, So an SUV, a classic SUV, is a truck-based utility. And that would be a vehicle like a Toyota 4Runner. Okay? So it's a truck chassis, and then they bolt the body on top of it. So that's what's called a body-on-frame SUV. Okay? That's what that is. That's a classic SUV. So examples of that would be the 4Runner, the big utilities from the domestic brands like a Cadillac Escalade is basically a pickup truck, and then they put the Cadillac body on top. Same thing for the Expedition and so on. So those are body-on-frame SUVs. A crossover vehicle, a perfect, there's many of these, would be like the GLC. That's a perfect example. So the GLC is based on the C-Class car. So they make the C-Class Mercedes-Benz, and then they take that same platform and they turn it into a crossover utility, raising the suspension up, putting the cladding on, giving all of those attributes. So that is a classic crossover. And that's a unibody, meaning there is no separate chassis. The chassis and the floor pan and all of the body is integrated into one, which is very different than a body on frame where they marry the two together. Hopefully that explained it. Saw your recent Outlander review. Would you consider it over a 2.4 Sorrento? I say you go and give them both a shot. The Sorrento is an interesting proposition because it's a tweener. It's between a compact utility and a midsize utility. And it's really kind of the only product out there that has this sort of unique shape. So it is a good vehicle to cross shop with because it has the third row available, where the Outlander, but it isn't quite the same category. So try them both and see which one you like. Oh, we're over an hour now. And I smell that chicken, and it smelled damn good. So I'm going to go and get it. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know. Here's I'm just going to do one here because I saw it. Zach, CT4V or CT5V, I think they're both stunning and cool. Good news. The reason I picked this one as my last one, I get the CT5V next week. Okay, so stay tuned for a review on the Cadillac next week. Okay. That is going to be a cool car. All right, I'm all out of time. Thanks to everybody that's here. If I didn't get your question on, not to worry. I do read them all, and we'll be back on Monday. So today's Thursday. Monday, same time, 8 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Don't forget to go to Car Cost Canada, sign up using the promo code MOTORMOUTH, and then get all the deals and discounts and everything that's going on in the marketplace. All right, thanks, everybody. We'll check in with you on Monday. See you then.